Have you ever been told to just give it all to God? That seems like it'd be really simple, but whenever we actually try, it's so much harder. So, I was walking around the other day and I thought of an analogy for this. And it's thinking of ourselves like a plastic cup that bends and honestly breaks. It's not meant to be used a lot. It's meant to be used just once or twice for one day. And then I thought of all this other stuff that we have just around the house as a bunch of different things. Like we have this book. This is going to be our responsibility to our family, our responsibility around the house. And then we have something else. We have our responsibility to our friends. So currently this seems like it's holding up pretty well, right? Well, this is just the bare minimum in our lives. Because then we have to add on things like hobbies, things like work, school, all of our relationships that don't necessarily fall into friends. Maybe it's something more, maybe it's something less. And then we also have all of our little things that we might not necessarily need in our lives. And we just add them on all willy-nilly and hope, and there goes one of them. And we kind of hope for the best. And then we just kind of keep adding, and we have all these little things in our lives, whether they're hobbies, school activities, friends, family, or something else. But then we have this. Something very much heavier than a lot of this other stuff. And this represents kind of everything that we bring with us whenever we go into life. This is all of our sin, shame, worries, and pain. So now we can put this up here. And I don't know if you can tell, but the cup is struggling to hold up. It's struggling to keep everything up, and everything's kind of wiggling. So maybe when we feel that in our lives, we'll reevaluate. We'll try and work things around. Oh, and there that goes. That won't work. So maybe put that somewhere else. Maybe move something else over here. And then we tend to realize, as Christians, we haven't left room for Jesus. So, again, we have to move things around and try and make room. Maybe it'll fit right back here where you can't even see it. So again, we're Christians. We want our faith to be seen, so we're going to have to move everything around. But nothing seems to make this balance very well, and eventually it all falls, as you can see. I don't want to make a loud crashing sound, but as you can see, the cup just isn't enough. And on one side, there's actually a crack that I heard. Yeah, right there at the top, there's a crack, if you can see it. Oh, and eventually that crack will just get bigger until it splits. So maybe this cup is us. So maybe after all of this, we take some time after everything falls apart and we reevaluate. We take some personal time, and we come back better. We come back stronger with no cracks. So we try again. Let's see what all we have. We have all of our weight. Let's move this off. Let's start with what's important, like our friends and family. That's where we'll start again. We're going to move all this stuff out of the way because we can get to that later. So let's start with our family. We're going to try and make all of this easy this time. Well, after our family, we have friends. We'll add them on there. Okay, and this time, we want our faith to be right in the front. So that's where we're going to put it. Okay, after that, we have some of these other things like school, hobbies, all these other little things that are important to us. We have all these things that we're just going to add on here and hope that they don't fall off. And we're going to make things work a little bit better this time around. And maybe this time around, we realize there are some things that we don't need. So, we have them, we see them, and maybe this isn't a weight that we need. Maybe these aren't things that we need in our life. So we'll set them to the side. We'll stop doing whatever those were. Whether that's a relationship, whether that's something holding you back from your walk with Christ, whatever it was, we put it to the side. Well, as we keep going and we keep having life and we keep having our sin, shame, pain, and struggles added on, well, it's already falling, as you can see. And we didn't even have as much weight as last time. So what didn't work? We didn't have as much weight as last time. There's 2 things that we didn't even use. And everything still fell fairly quickly. We had all these things that were important to us. We even had our faith front and center. So what's the issue? Well, the common denominator between both of these is that we were trying to hold them up by ourselves. We had no help. We weren't asking anyone for help. We weren't trusting anyone else. Especially Christ, our faith. We weren't using it. We were having it front and center, but we weren't using it to help us. As we see in places in the Bible, the theme of giving it all to God, it's there. In particular, we have Proverbs 3 verses 5 and 6. These say, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." So this talks about trusting God, submitting to him, giving, and when we submit, we're giving all of our heart to God. We're not leaning on ourselves. We're not trusting ourselves when we just break. When we aren't strong enough to hold everything in our lives up. We have to not lean on our own understanding and lean on ourselves. We have to trust God. There's also another place in 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. "Cast all your anxieties on him, for he cares for you." All of our anxieties, our worries, our pain, our sin, they weigh us down. They're a big stumbling block in our faith, and they just set everything off. So as Christians, we're not supposed to take all of this on by ourselves. We're supposed to have the help of God. So what if, before we get into the next part, what if after all of this, we crumbled and fell, and now this was us? We can't even stand up. How are we supposed to hold everything else in our life? Well, we can lean on God. We can trust him, and he will help us. So if this cup was us, let's say that this one is God. He cares for us and he wants what's best for us. When we start giving things over to him that are important to us, you'll see a life change. You'll see that he can hold it. He holds our friends and family pretty well. Right? Not really shaking. The cup is fine. And so far there's no weight on us. Okay, well, let's start adding other things on. Let's put them on here. And soon you'll realize that everything we struggle to hold, God doesn't struggle with. He can hold it all. He can hold it 1,000 times over. Every little thing that we need, that we have, that we want. All of our relationships, our family, every little thing in our life. God can hold it without any problems. And then we may get to the point where we're willing to give him our sin, our pain, our shame. Well, he'll look at this and he'll tell you, he already died for this. So as Christians, we're still going to have sin. We're still going to have pain and we're still going to have shame. But when we give it over to him, it doesn't even matter anymore. It's put to the side because he's already died for it. It's not something that we need in our lives. It's not something that's so important to us. Well, all of this other stuff is, and he holds it perfectly. There's nothing he can't do. And we are shaded, we are protected by this canopy that he provides for us. Everything, even all these little things that seem insignificant, that threw us off earlier, he holds them all up perfectly. And maybe he'll look at some of these and he'll say, do we need these? Do you need these? Are these good for you? And maybe the answer is no. So he'll take them away. Or maybe the answer is one of them is good for you, so you can have one of them. And suddenly, everything starts getting just a little lighter when we're pointing out these things that we don't even need. And suddenly, while our life is still full, it's perfect because it's curated and protected by God, as he takes things out that we don't need, and he fixes the things that we do. Because maybe some things just aren't clean, maybe they just aren't good enough, maybe they just don't meet standard. So, he's going to fix them, and eventually, everything that we gave to God is going to look stronger, better, and just fuller than it used to, because it's in God's hands, not our own. So this is the cup analogy, where you have a not very good cup, because you can't do it on your own, but when you lean on God, everything changes. When you give stuff to God, everything changes. And eventually you might try and take some things back, but when you do that, you end up taking all of it. And I don't think I need to show you, but this cup, if this is us, it's not going to be able to hold any of this up. No, it's just going to fall, and it's going to either end up in a worse place than it was, or it's going to end up giving it all back to God. This little exercise makes it seem like it's rather simple to give everything over to God. It's not. It takes prayer, focus, and honestly determination, because it's hard to let go of things. But that is exactly what we need to do to have our relationship with God flourish, to have our faith grow, and for us just to have a deeper connection with others in our lives as well as God, with our family and our friends. Thank you for watching. I hope that this helps you in whatever way you need. I hope that this provides light into your life and helps you see God's will for you.